That's right, friends. Today we are taking a look at Red Sun Superman. And for those of you who don't know what Red Sun is, it's a comic book by Mark Millar where Superman pretty much lands in the Soviet Union. And if you don't know what the Soviet Union is, well, you should probably read less comics and more other kinds of books with history and stuff. So here is Red Sun Superman up close, and he's mostly a reuse of McFarlane's first Superman figure. Pretty much just the head and the cape are new pieces, and the chest is sort of new. It's like a retool just to get this, symbol correct and accurate to the Soviet symbol that's on there. The cape is like not a normal cape. It's like been cut at this kind of triangle thing, and I don't know how accurate that really is because, you look at the cover of Red Sun Superman, which McFarlane gave us a handy-dandy reference right here. That cape is hanging over his shoulder, and, from the front at least, it looks pretty much like a straight cut back there, and this is a pointy cut, but, I kind of don't mind because it looks really cool, but, the same thing in the interior artwork for the book, it looks pretty, much like a straight line at the bottom of the cape in most of the panels, but even this, look at the edge, the corner there, that's hanging down almost to Superman's ankle. It's like at least mid-calf, when it's over his shoulder, and if it's back behind his shoulder, it should be hanging down further, I think. I don't know, but look at this corner. That's the middle of his thigh there, so I don't know what's going on with the cape. It is not completely accurate, but, I still kind of like it, because this is a cool little point in the middle here where they cut it there. Well, cape may be new, so is the head, chest a little bit of a retool, but everything else in the body is exactly the same, which means the return of mashed potato hands! And also the return of weird elbows and ugly knee joints. Looking at both of them side by side, you can see the bodies are pretty much the same, even with the chest, they retooled this for the symbol inside, but the musculature on the rest of the torso upper piece, it's pretty much exactly the same right there. The head is a new piece, of course, and I gotta say, I'm kind of digging the face for Red Sun Superman. It's, look at that jaw dimple right there. It's strong and Soviet, like the ox. Although one difference I noticed is they got rid of the S-curl on his hair there, and I do not know why, because Soviet Superman has that in the Red Sun comic book, so not quite accurate, McFarlane. The back of the head, I like the difference in hair, though. Look at the natural way his hair hangs down versus the original release. The other difference is if we start looking at the paint, this one had the glossy hair, and this one is just matte, which, is fine. I guess that's just a aesthetic thing. It's personal preference. What I'm not okay with is, the blue wash, it's a little heavy on the top, and then it's not there on the sides at all. So it looks like McFarlane just kind of cheaped out, honestly, with the blue wash on the hair there. On the face, the paint, the eyes look great. Those are really piercing out there, but the lips, what's going on? Soviet Superman wear lipstick? What happens in Russia stays in Russia. Hey, whatever floats your boat. One positive thing with the paint, at least the joints where the hands attach, they got it flesh-colored this time, as opposed to the first Superman where they had the blue there, which didn't make much sense. Thankfully this is much better. Now, as for the paint on the rest of the body, well, most of it's molded in the dark blue. The trunks are black with the belt buckle painted red, and the cuffs are black, the symbols painted red, and that is pretty much it for paint. Now, on the cover to Red Sun, the back of this symbol here looks black, and then so do, not the entire boots, but the bottom of the boots. Maybe it's just a shadow, or maybe, I don't know, but it does appear like he's got black shoes, or at least darker gray shoes at the bottom half of his boots, which doesn't make a lot of sense because you think the boots would be one uniform color, but whatever. In the actual book, in the panels, the back of that is blue, and the entirety of the boots are dark blue, so McFarlane got those accurate, actually, to the interior art at least. What's not accurate, though, is the belt buckle. Both on the cover and the interior, around the belt buckle, there are these red spires. Maybe they're loops like that, but I think they might be capsules for gadgets or something. I don't know, but they're these two little red lines that should be on the side of the oval to make it look sort of like an H shape, and they're not here because McFarlane just reused this crotch piece from the first Superman, and they didn't want to sculpt little things or even paint them on in straight lines. Also, in the actual book, on the cover his trunks are black, but in the actual book, the trunks are dark blue like the rest of the body, so, is it accurate to the cover? No. Is it accurate to the interior art? No. McFarlane seemed to have mixed and matched with the paint, but for the most part, the paint's fine. It's just those lips that are a little too dark, in my opinion. Well, friends, taking a look at Articulation, it is pretty much the same as the other Superman that McFarlane released because it's the same body, big surprise, but he can look up, so far, which is not bad. Down about that much. Side to side is just excellent. And of course it can go all the way around. Shoulders have that double ball socket. The interior joint is really stiff, but you can get butterfly movement just a smidge that way. And same thing up and down, kinda. Then shoulders on a pin disc inside of that goes up to about 90 and can spin all the way around. Swivel at the bicep, single hinged elbow, which he's getting a little less than 90 there, so that's unfortunate. And then double ball peg wrists, which means he can get more than 90 degrees with the wrist, so that's good. And he can get a lateral movement too if you rotate the ball in the cup there. Ball joint at the upper torso goes so far forward, so far back. Same thing at the lower waist, a ball joint which, you know, lets him get some decent crunch, I guess, forwards and backwards. And they both swivel all the way around. Hips are on a McFarlane C-cup, lets them do the splits pretty much to 180 there. Comes so far forward, just a little bit back. And thigh swivel is just barely there, honestly. It's mostly non-existent. Double knees, Superman can kick his own butt almost if you get the cape out of the way. Double ball ankles, he gets very good range with them, but you gotta pivot that ball if you want to get any sort of side to side. And then there's toe articulation, which is nice. I mean, I think the big thing hurting this guy, aside from not having double elbows, is the thigh swivel being so minimal because, like, it just makes... I just realized, like, how used that I am to swiveling thighs to get the feet in position, because it's a little tough to stand up when you can't do that. I mean, of course you can do it because you can still swivel the feet, but man, just put some cuts in the thighs, McFarlane, please. Packaging for this guy had no surprises. It is pretty much exactly what we've seen from McFarlane's DC Multiverse line before. It is a big old rectangle box with blue backdrop with the comic book covers in there. Still says 22 moving parts up there, even though it's not really true. This Superman has 23 points of articulation. But there's a slight change with this new blue backdrop for the McFarlane Toys logo. Anyways, on the back we get the cover art by Dave Johnson that this guy is based on. And if you look closely, you can see those two little spires on the red part of the belt there, and it looks like a more black background on this chest symbol and sort of black shoes at the bottom half of the boots there. But I mean, that's just the cover art that he's based on and the collector card he comes with. Speaking of which, let's pop all that stuff out and get this guy open already. What the? 3 stickers, McFarlane? Really? In the tray there, Superman has 2 sets of double twist type things. One at the torso, one around the shins, and we'll snap both of those right now. I wish this top one wasn't so close to his body. I mean, I don't want to scratch up the figure or anything. There we go. Really wanted to avoid, you know, cutting Superman's chest. Wow! Okay, his cape could be easier to get out. I mean, if you're going to make the wider cape, you got to cut a bigger hole, McFarlane. The packaging's alright, I guess. I mean, not much more to say about it. I mean, I guess we can get the other accessories out. They're, you know, glued to that blister back there, which I don't really like. You gotta pretty much destroy this thing and get it open. This is probably my biggest gripe with the packaging for McFarlane's stuff. Like, could you just, like, make this glue a little lighter? I mean, who cares if, like, the card falls out inside the packaging, right? Like, it needs to be possible to open it, right? Oh, wow. Okay, everything is finally out. That could be a bit better, McFarlane. But we did get that flight stand out finally, which is a pretty good accessory for a character like Superman. It says DC on the base, only has 1 peg, but I mean, it's a lot bigger than the tiny little black bases that have been coming with the other DC figures, so I appreciate that, because of course you can use it as just like a normal base if you want. Superman has peg holes on both feet, but there's only a peg hole on like the left side, so, you know, you'd pretty much be stuck using that. Yeah, his little foot fits in pretty well. Obviously you want to stand him if you're standing him on the base like that. That works fine. I mean, I actually appreciate how this little clear base is big enough for the figure to stand on and like look decent, but I mean, the real good reason this comes with a Superman, you know, figure is because Superman flies, of course, and you want to get him in a good little flying pose by using a little clamp on the back. I think it would be a better system, honestly, if we had like a peg thing that, you know, slotted into his back rather than... It would also look better too, but I think it'd be sturdier in the long run if it's slotted into his back. But I mean, you can get some good poses out of it, I guess. So, you know, nice inclusion. Last necessary, in my opinion, is the collector card. I mean, it's got that cool cover art from Red Sun on there. And on the back, it's got a little write-up about how Superman landed in USSR. And yeah, if you want to pause and read that, I guess you can. But, I don't. What I want to do is put this thing in the trash, pretty much. And lastly, Superman comes with 2 alternate hands. One is a fist on the left hand, thank goodness, because this hand ain't doing it for me. I'd much rather have a fist on there, But the other one is that trigger finger hand, because, Superman, of course, he would have the trigger finger, the separate index finger there to hold his guns. But, I mean, thankfully these hands, they pop on and off just fine. Not too tough, not too easy. I mean, you want them to be sturdy on there when they're on there. But I mean, they're the same exact hands we got with our base figure Superman. And what is the point of the trigger finger? And thank goodness for the fist. But again, I guess I can buy it a little bit better, the trigger finger, because this is a evil Superman, quote unquote. I mean, it's not total evil. He's just like a commie, which, whatever, if communism was evil or not, or it was back then, or if it was just propaganda, who knows? But I mean, he's not the good, wholesome Superman we know. Still, he wasn't really using guns or anything too much. I mean, this, I could buy a little bit more, but still. I want 2 flat flying hands, McFarlane. Can you just get that through your head with Superman? I guess accessories are a little better, considering this is not the traditional Superman, than the accessories they got with the traditional Superman. But they're still not great, honestly. Scale time, Red Sun Superman stands about 7¼ inches, or 18.5 centimeters tall. Here he is with 6-inch Batman and Spider-Man, 6-inch Superman, 7-inch Superman from DC Direct, and 7-inch Superman from McFarlane. Comparing him to some NECA figures, here he is with Rambo, Commando, Robocop, Terminator, Alien, and Predator. And do you see how compared to these, this Superman just has the weirdest lips? Look how subtle the paint is on the lips for the DC Direct one. It's barely different than the skin tone, and it looks so much better. And this one was the purple lips, and I mean, even if you did with DC Direct and Matilda, they didn't even paint them, it still looks better. You would have been better off leaving the paint off. I don't know how they messed up so bad, because the paint on the original one, the lips, I mean, you might not even be able to tell that it's a different color, but yes, they painted the lips, but again, way more subtle. You see, McFarlane? Just look to your past selves to learn how to do it. At the end of the day, friends, do I ultimately recommend the McFarlane Red Sun Superman figure? And, well, the answer is, kinda. I mean, it is based on a Superman figure that could have been so much better. Because, I mean, I sort of have mixed feelings about the original Superman that McFarlane released in terms of its sculpt and articulation and all that. But, I mean, what's new here is also kind of questionable. I mean, the head sculpt is good, but then those lips are kind of atrocious, honestly. And then the cape, I think the real issue with it, I mean, it looks cool, but the real issue is the accuracy. How accurate is that to the Red Sun comic book? And the answer is, it doesn't seem to be that accurate, honestly. And same thing goes with the choices on the existing parts. Those trunks are not accurate to the interior art, but the chest symbol and the shoes don't seem to be accurate to the cover. I mean, the chest for sure. I'm still a little iffy on the shoes if it's just a shadow or something down there. I don't know. Either way, is it accurate to the cover? No, not quite. Is it accurate to the interior art? No, not quite. Is it accurate enough to Red Sun Superman? I mean, pretty much. I'm being pretty picky, frankly, but when it comes to the accessories part of the figure, that's pretty much a fail. I mean, it's nice to get a flight stand, but I mean, the hands included, seriously, same issue with the first Superman. We're not getting 2 fists, 2 flying hands. That's all people want. Instead, we got the weird loose grip mashed potato hands, and that kind of bothers me, but I am being picky. This is a pretty decent representation of Red Sun Superman, so if you want that character, go out and get him, I say. But otherwise, you could steer clear. Well, until next time, peace out, YouTube.